Middle of the Pack podcast.
It's Wednesday, boys, and we were up bright and early and into work.
Welcome to episode 55 of the Middle of the Pack podcast. And there we had the Chaz fella introducing one of his social media posts on TikTok. But he is our guest. Charlie Lillis is our guest for this week. And boy, we had a lot to talk about, a lot to cram in. So I'll get straight down to it, where we started off by asking the Chaz fella, or Charlie, how he started or how he got into running. Welcome to episode 55 of the Middle of the Pack podcast.
It was a strange one, actually. So I would have probably played GAA for my entire life, or a sport of some description, since I was a young fella. So football would have been my main sport growing up. I was getting injured an awful lot.
All right.
And I always see any obstacles or anything that comes into your life as kind of a way of redirecting you. And when the same injury happens a few times, it might be time to kind of realise, okay, I might be on the wrong path here. I might be doing something wrong in my life. And it was kind of the summer, so the injury happened in like October, say. And the summer before, I had been doing a lot of like running with one of my friends and like really enjoying it and really loving it. And then playing GAA as well. Injured my knee and had to get an operation on it. And then, so I did my, not as serious as an ACL, but MCL, so the inside ligament in my knee, and then damaged some meniscus, so I had to get them like surgically repaired. Was in a cast for, or not a cast, but a brace for a good few months, which was not fun for someone as active as myself. But I kind of was thinking, like, I kind of wrote down a few goals as I was like rehabbing from this injury. And for a period, all I could do was obviously run in like straight lines, you know. And then I started kind of building things up, and all of a sudden I was running like 5Ks, and then I was like, do you know what, I'd love to be able to run a sub 40-minute 10K. I thought that would be like a really achievable, but like just enough out of reach of a goal to kind of give me enough motivation to do it, if that made sense.
Yeah.
So one of my best friends, Dara, he's like a running coach, and he's the person I had been running with before I got injured and really started enjoying it and stuff. And he does these mad like 100-mile challenges, and he's run a few marathons and stuff. And he was like, look, I'll take you on as a client if you want to come on board with me, and I'll train you up to run sub 40-minute 10K. And I thought, perfect. And then from there, things kind of snowballed, because I really, really fell in love with it very, very quickly. And I suppose being on a structured plan pretty much straight away from being injured, like, gave me incredible results in a really short space of time. And then I think I ran, so like the surgery happened around October time 2024, say, and then I ran Mallow 10 miler, and that would have been maybe March 25.
Okay.
Does that timeline make sense? I think that might be maybe a bit wrong, but it was something along those lines anyway. And I ran a really strong time, like an hour and 10 minutes for me at the time was like unfathomable. Do you know what I mean? And I thought, geez, I might have something in this running game here, because I've only been running for maybe 6 weeks, and I'm running this time for a 10 miler, and I'd never ran maybe more than 7 or 8K before that. Like, so I was kind of like, geez, I might have something here.
Yeah.
And then again, just following Dara's plan. I call him Burnsy if you ever follow me on social media, but following the Burnsy's plan. And next on the agenda was Limerick Half Marathon. And out of nowhere, and I'm not saying this now as like I'm not trying to play myself down or anything, I had done no pace work, no anything. The objective was to kind of finish the half marathon. And then all of a sudden I ran out with my cousin, and about 17K in, I was like, oh my God, I can beat Dara, my coach's time for a half marathon, which was about an hour and 24 minutes.
That's brilliant.
And I ended up running an hour and 22-minute half marathon in my like first ever like half marathon. So I was like, Christ, okay. And then obviously Cork is quite a small place, and there was kind of echoes around like, whoa, who's this fella? He never really runs. I just train by myself. There isn't really like, I'm not part of a club. I'm kind of my own person. And all of a sudden they're like, who is this fella? And then that kind of opened a lot of doors for me. And I thought, right, what's next? I think I ran the Cork 10K then last year, and that was like my goal race for the entire year. And I ended up going under the 40 minutes. And then since then, obviously the next goal then was a marathon, and that brought me up to Barcelona in March of this year, where I ran my first marathon. But yeah, I kind of got sidetracked and tangented there an awful lot. But that's kind of my running journey.
You did the Barcelona Marathon,
Yeah, Barcelona.
and now
Uh,
you're on the rocky road to Dublin.
on the rocky road to Dublin now. Yeah, another scary marathon block ahead.
And
Um,
I see by the social medias you've started the Dublin Diaries then, so you're kind of tracking that whole journey. And
yeah,
what week are you on now?
we're going into week 5 at the moment, so I think we're about, is it 9 weeks out this Sunday? I think.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so
I
yeah, I think I'm 5 weeks into my like official training plan.
and when
Um,
when you say we, who else is doing Dublin? Or are you
uh,
just talking us collectively?
I think us collectively, but myself and my cousin James as well would train with me quite regularly, and he got a Dublin entry as well, so we're both kind of training for it together, so to speak.
And you have a goal time, have you? No,
I didn't break the 3 hours in Barcelona, so that's the main objective is to go under 3.
you were just over it, though, weren't you?
I think I was 3:03 in Barcelona, so like realistically I should be aiming like below the 2:55s, but I would be extremely happy just to get under the 3, to be fair.
One of the things I was confused about and need to talk to you about is
Yeah.
you're doing this walk as well, which is fantastic because you're raising money. But the confusing bit for me is you're doing this in the middle of your marathon block as well.
Yeah. So I suppose it is poor timing for it, but it's something that I've wanted to do for so long. And like Tubbs will probably listen to this, but Tubbs has had this in his head for since he got his triple bypass, which was 2 years ago now. He wanted it to be around this time of the year because it'll mark his like 2 year anniversary of his operation.
Yeah,
And the pro to it is that we're going to be covering like 50 kilometers a day on feet.
yeah,
So I'm not necessarily not training, but then it's that kind of crossover of like, is going to be like, is walking like whatever it's going to be 50K a day going to have the same effect on the body as running? Obviously not, but I'm hoping that because it's only 2 weeks as well, it'll serve as like a nice little deload at this stage of training, so that then when I finish, we'll be like 8 weeks out, and I can really kick on into things then for the final 8 weeks of the prep.
yeah.
Uh,
So you're
but
not going to run part of it.
no, we will just walk it. I had considered it, because say each day we're going to break it into like 10-mile segments, so like 3 10-mile segments, and I was thinking like if I run the first 10 miles, maybe not every day, but every 3 days maybe, to just get my weekly mileage to where it is now, like 70 odd, 80 odd K a week, then hopefully I'll maintain my fitness. But then I was thinking, geez, if I'm walking 50 kilometers every single day and then I'm trying to run like 70K or 80K of that, it's probably not going to be good on the body either. So
Yeah,
we'll play it by ear as well. I
yeah.
might be 4 or 5 days in and might go, right, I'll go for a run today. And you know what I mean? I don't think I'll necessarily lose like all my fitness in 2 weeks. So I'm not panicking too much.
But give me a little bit of background. Well, give the listeners a bit of background to the
Yeah.
Hart fellas.
Yeah. So I suppose Tubbs, as we call him, or Liam McCarthy, he'd be a family friend of mine. I've known him since I was about 8 years old or 12 years old. And he would have been a family friend. I think people are confusing that he's my father,
I
but
saw that in the post. Yeah,
yeah, he's not. So he's just a family friend, but he's been like a big part of my life. So unfortunately, 2 years ago, he went into the hospital with like a bit of discomfort in his chest. Nothing crazy, like nothing which would be raising any red flags, but kind of just a shortness of breath and a bit of pain. And then all of a sudden, they were like, "Come here, this is something serious. You've a blockage in your heart here. We're going to have to open you up." And initially, they thought they'd give him a double bypass. He woke up after a double bypass, and then they realized they'll have to give him a triple bypass, which is obviously a massive ordeal, massive operation. So sorted him out. He came back around. They looked after him for a few months in there. It was actually around the same time I got my knee operation done. So I was kind of joking back and forth with him that we're both in hospital at the same time, and
yeah,
my operation was much more serious than his and stuff. But he was kind of adamant the minute he came out to to do this fundraiser for the CUH because like they really looked after him. He said he was treated like a king up there. So, and they obviously saved his life. So he was saying he really wanted to give back. And then back in 1988, he had done it, but running with a friend. So they ran a marathon a day for the 15 days to get from Malin to Mizzen with his friend Mick Kelly. And then about a year after Tubbs had his operation, Mick Kelly passed away from a heart attack out of nowhere. So Tubbs was kind of like, Jesus, it's now or never. Like, we really have to do this. So he kind of started putting plans in place then. And it's been like a really good motivation for him as well to like be active and to be like following the plan that the hospital had given him and to build up his like walking mileage. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's kind of the background there.
But you're fundraising, so they can go on your social media and
So links are all in the bio. There's a few posts on my page as well just regarding it and the route we're taking and stuff. So obviously starting up in Malin Head, but we're kind of staying down along the west coast of Ireland, finishing then by passing through Mallow, which would be kind of my home place, and then through Cork City. We're going to call into the CUH, who we're raising the money for, and then finish on down to Mizzen Head the 2 days following that then. But yeah, it's going to be a bit of crack, Jesus.
And are you going to kind of social media diary the whole thing? And
yeah, so obviously on TikTok, I kind of do a day in the life anyway.
Yeah.
And I've been doing that for the last 2 and a bit years. But I want to do like a day one of going from Malin to Mizenhead. And then we kind of we've ideas of things to be like talking about or basing the videos on. You know, we kind of want to make it informative as well and kind of raise a bit of awareness because I suppose with any heart disease or anything like that, like prevention is the best cure, you know?
Yeah.
So like it's all well and good going to the CUH and they looking after you and all of that, but you want to not end up in the hospital in the first place, you know?
Yeah.
Obviously, as like a personal trainer, someone in the health and fitness scene, like we kind of want to spread the thought process that like prevention is the best cure, you know? So if you can get in your like minutes per week of exercise and your kind of cardiovascular health and stuff like that during the week, it's obviously going to have such a huge like positive impact on your overall health and obviously trying to keep you out of hospital in the first place.
Yeah. That's great. And you are, as you just mentioned there, you are a personal trainer and you have a job with Dennehy's, isn't it? Dennehy's Health and Fitness.
Yeah. Then he's there in Penrose Dock.
Okay. But you do your own personal training as well, do you?
Yeah, I'd have my own online side of things as well. And then I do a few strength and conditioning gigs as well with a few teams around. So a busy man.
Busy man, yeah. And
Yeah.
but there's real early starts as well. I'm gathering their early starts.
Yeah. My shift would be 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. So I'd be an early bird.
And do you grab power naps or anything like that, particularly on a marathon nap, or are you just too young and you're just grand?
No, definitely. There's a few power naps. Sorry. I actually, for most of my life, I used to hate napping. You know that?
Yeah.
Even when I had 6 a.m. starts, I just get through the day and then come 9 o'clock, I was lights out. But definitely the last 2 years now, I've found that post work, about 3 o'clock, I normally try to train after work in the gym. And then I come home after work. It's eat a bit of food and then quick 45-minute nap and then up and do my running that night.
It's funny because like you said, I hated naps. I thought it was a waste of a time. But since I started running and particularly marathon blocking, yeah, I'll try and steal 25 minutes and just even that's enough, to recover.
Yeah. A big one for me now. So on my long run days, I normally do my long runs on a Saturday, but I'll work in the morning. So I'll do a morning shift. On my way home, I'll grab a coffee
Yeah.
and then come home, have a half an hour nap. And then the caffeine kicks in when you wake up from the nap. And pff, there you go. There's a little hack for you.
Yeah. No, yeah. Well, I've given up caffeine completely.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Purely because caffeine gels then during a run.
Okay.
I get a much bigger bang for my buck.
Yeah.
So,
Nice.
yeah.
Purely performance
Yeah.
related.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can,
Brilliant.
my slow goes a little bit quick. So it's just a small little thing that helps.
Brilliant.
So when you mentioned your social media, I was also interested to know which is your kind of biggest site? Is it TikTok or Insta, or are they both proving to be as popular as
Um,
each other at this stage?
I think TikTok has kind of grown much quicker. So over on TikTok, I do like the day in the lives and I put them up every day. So obviously I'm a bit more consistent with my posting over there. And obviously that's very much correlated in with the following. But I do think it's much easier to grow on TikTok than it is on Instagram. I don't know if you've found this or if you see that yourself, but definitely with TikTok, I feel like it's shown to more people. Whereas the Instagram is a bit more selective, I think, and only like certain posts will like blow up, do you know, on Instagram versus like the most random posts ever on TikTok can explode. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've had some very mundane day in the lives there that have like 60, 70,000 views, like, whereas I might put a load of effort into like a Dublin Diaries post on Instagram and it gets like 2,000 views and I go, oh, jeez, you know, it's
Uh,
very difficult to kind of call.
yeah, except I'm lazy. I just put the same video up on both.
Maybe I need to start doing that. Yeah.
So you've got your walk, you've got Dublin.
Yeah.
Do you kind of plan your future runs, or are you very much impulsive? You stay with.
Um, I was actually talking to someone the other day about this. So people were asking me what races was I doing in the lead up to Dublin, you know, and I was like, no, no, I'm just doing Dublin. Like I like having a sole focus, and I know other people like to like maybe build into things and maybe do like some 5Ks and then do some 10Ks, do
Yeah,
some 10 milers, do a half, and then run the full. But I really like putting in a big training block and having one sole focus for that 12, 16 weeks. You know what I mean? Because even over the summer there, a few of the races down the marina, you get kind of addicted to that race feeling. Do you know what I mean? And you'd be doing 5Ks and like back to back weeks pushing for 5K PBs. And I think you can really get caught up in the whole racing sphere, you know?
yeah,
Whereas I do like putting my head down and actually improving over like a longer period. And again, there's no probably right or wrong, but personally myself, that's kind of what I enjoy doing anyway.
and are you a person that has to race a race? You won't just go out
Um,
and run Charleville half marathon and smell the flowers, like.
I when I started, I would have thought that like, oh, I'm hyper competitive and I have to go out and give my all every day. But I ran Mallow 10 this year with my girlfriend, trying to pace her
Your
to get in
SNA.
under. Yeah, 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 Amy. So I tried to get her in under an hour and 20, which would have been a big PB for her in the Mallow 10 miler. And I was kind of running at a pace that was comfortable for me, but I absolutely loved it. And I think you can take in a lot more of a race when you're not hyper focused and head down. So there's definitely pros and cons.
Yeah,
Um, there's definitely times where you do want to push and try get your PB maybe, and then there is times where you just want to have a bit of fun and enjoy it.
yeah. You probably have a good personality to be a pacer as well, I'd say.
Maybe, yeah. I
But
reckon I'd like that. I might look at that for Cork next year.
yeah, you could do. I mean, my wife paced for the half marathon. She loved it. She thought it was one of the best things she's done.
Yeah,
Well, I've had a few people that had. Karen Toomey was one of the guests. I don't know if you know her, but
yeah. Karen loved the pacing. She was telling me. Yeah.
yeah, she was buzzing. Yeah.
Hopefully the people I pace are a bit kinder to me than Amy when I was pacing her. Anyway, she was giving me some attitude.
Was she up for it, or were you forcing her to do this
She,
120?
she she was up for it, but not for the. I don't think she liked the camera when she was suffering. You know, I was trying to vlog the experience,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I don't think she was the biggest fan of her suffering being broadcasted.
yeah. On some of the posts, it does look like that you torment her a little bit,
A small bit.
small bit.
Look, it's all
So
fun and
tell
games.
me a couple of things about how to get in touch. Obviously, you can be followed. Is it the Chaz fella on both, or are you Charlie Lillis on Instagram?
Yeah, I changed my Instagram for the purpose of this fundraiser now. So I had been like a different username on Instagram, but I'm just the Chaz fella now on both of them.
And both of those have a link to this walk
Yeah.
fundraising.
So in the bio for both of them, there'll be the first link is going to be that I donate link. So that'll take you straight to the I donate page, which, yeah.
That's good. So, a couple of questions on fueling for Dublin for
Yeah.
those. Have you got a plan, or are you flying by the seat of your pants?
You have to have a plan.
Good
You've
man.
got to have a plan. So I think I found out Barcelona was my first marathon. And I think, not that I went into it kind of underprepared, but I definitely wasn't ready for the heat in Barcelona.
Okay.
Um, and I'm also an extremely salty sweater, which I had then, I like found out then after Barcelona. I went and got some testing done, but I basically cramped up crazy after about 25k of Barcelona. Couldn't get enough water into me. I had salt tabs. I don't know if you ever taken
Hmm.
the salt tabs, but I brought about 9 of them with me, which I thought would be enough. I was going to take 3 every 40 minutes or something. Anyway, we'd some sort of a plan in place, but 25k in, locked up pretty badly. Had to stop at all of the water stations and just take on 3 or 4 glasses of water, but like coming to a stop, like, and getting water into me, which obviously isn't ideal. So ahead of Dublin, the plan is, I'm sure you're nearly the biggest advocate of it these days of all time, but speed dust is going to be my go-to. I've bought myself a few soft flasks. I don't know if you used the soft flasks yet.
Yeah,
But
I have my own, but not the speed dust ones, but I might just
yeah,
get them for the sake of it.
I bought a few of them, and the plan is to bring them with me with probably 4 scoops of speed dust in each, which will be what's in 3, 75 grams, 75, 150, and then an extra bit. So yeah, about 200 grams of carbs. That mightn't even be enough. We might bring a few gels as well, but yeah, the speed dust is handy because it has the electrolytes in it as well, you know?
Yeah, but would it have enough for your saltiness? Salty
That's
sweater?
what I'm thinking. Yeah, I might have to put a bit of some of the salt tabs into it as well. But there's a plan in place anyway. We're gonna try the speed dust. I've been bringing it into a few of my longer runs now and seeing what kind of how it's going, you know, and it's going well so far.
Yeah, yeah. I've had Alter on and I've had Precision Fuel on. They're the two that I use. I'll
Yeah,
use the caffeine gels as well, you see, as I told
yeah,
you, right? So
yeah.
I used to take 8 gels, but I found that was like a nightmare. And now I take Alter for the majority, then I take a caffeine gel, then I take some Alter, and then I take some caffeine gel. And the
Mm.
caffeine kicks in just as I need it to kick in. But
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I never really liked messing with the caffeine gels. I had one during Barcelona, and again, I had the Precision Fuel gels. Recently, I've gone to the SIS, you know, the beta fuel.
yeah,
So the Precision fuels have 30 grams of carbs, I think. The beta fuel has 40 grams of carbs. So even from like a holding gel standpoint, I just have been going for the SIS ones. They're a bit handier to get your hands on as well. So yeah, I might mix it up between having 2 of them flasks of speed dust and maybe 2 or 3 gels as well on me, just in case.
yeah. I think it's always good to have the backup. But obviously, I say this on nearly every episode now. Everybody needs to start practicing now when they're doing their long runs. It's like
100%. Yeah.
make sure you have it down pat really. And
Yeah, for sure.
but
And
you're
even the hydration as well. That's the big thing I learned, the hydration, because any of my long runs, I didn't really bring water with me, you know? And then next minute, it's only when you are cramping up and you're like, oh, I really should have prepared ahead of time. And it's easy to say it in hindsight, isn't it?
yeah, absolutely. But at least
Yeah.
Alter definitely helps with that. You know, the fact
Yeah.
you're taking on liquids and you're taking on electrolytes and you're taking on carbs. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Big
and
fan.
what about shoe rotation? Are you a shoe man or are you just
I'm a big shoe guy, but I'm very loyal once I find ones that I like.
uh-huh.
So I've been going through, I have 3 shoes, but I've had probably 4 pairs of each of them at this stage. So my everyday runs are Nike Vomero Pluses. I don't know if you've tried them yet,
No.
but I really, really like them. They're a big, chunky sole, extremely comfortable, but they've got a bit of a bounce to them. I really like them. Evo SLs then are my kind of in between shoe. So I've been doing a lot of steady work recently, which is like, it's not quite quick enough to wear carbons, but it is fast enough to not wear the Vomeros, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's been in the Evo SLs, which again I've heard you talk about a lot. I'm a big fan of them. The Adidas Evo SLs. I think I'm onto my 5th pair now. I hope my mother isn't listening to this because she always keeps out about me buying shoes. But and then my race shoe has been Adidas Pro 4s for the last kind of year and a half, and I'm a big, big fan of them as well.
Yeah, I would
And
be
they've
too.
done me like 5k all the way to the marathon, and I think they're as fast. as you want at a 5K and as comfortable as you need for a full 42. Like, so I'm a big advocate of them.
Yeah, I would echo all of it except the Nike. I, I would be between Brooks and Adidas would be my two go-tos
Yeah.
really.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
As I was saying, I'm quite kind of loyal to them three. And then every so often I'll treat myself to an outsider pair, to try them
yeah,
out and see if they're any good. And I tried the Puma Deviate Pure recently.
yeah,
I
I
don't know,
have
did you have a
them.
pair of them?
Yeah,
I kind of liked them, but again, they were a bit in between for me. So the Evo kind of covers that side of things.
the Hyperboost Edge from Adidas is possibly my favorite at the moment,
Yeah, I might
and
have to try a pair of them.
they're fabulous for long runs. They're fabulous for recovery runs.
Yeah,
And I'm tempted. This is totally against the grain. I'm tempted at the moment to wear them for the marathon, like because they have a little
yeah,
kick, but they also have cushioning that gives you a little bit of
the
support.
comfort. Yeah,
But see, I'm
because
not.
I've been tempted the last few weeks. Sorry to cut across. Jeez, I've been tempted the last few weeks to even run in my Evos. I've been liking them that much.
For the
Um,
marathon.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know what it's been recently, but I don't know. I haven't been running much in the Pro Fours, and I've got a bit of fear of the carbons at the moment. I don't know why, but
Yeah, you wouldn't be on your own. I see. I think I think. Well, you're quick, so I think they'll definitely aid you. There's definite benefit, but I think the benefit that I might get being a 4 hour runner, I'm not sure if it's enough. And I think the Hyperboost Edge give me that comfort that when I tired, we'd say for the last, wasn't so much hitting the wall. It was just that I felt like my legs were tired and I wondered whether the carbon plates contributed to that.
yeah,
So watch this space. I think I'll alternate a couple of long runs
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and see what the result is.
I do think in the carbons you can get a bit greedy, all right, especially on them longer runs. The pace might be around marathon pace, and you go, I'm in the carbons. I might push it on a small bit, and yeah, it's.
But like I said, I think like in a race like a 10K on Sunday now, and any of the 5 milers or 5 kilometer races with a caffeine gel time to kick in, wearing carbon plates.
Yeah,
I definitely think the two of those as a mixed work for short
savage.
to medium races. Like, so
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, I thought I was Superman at the Cork City 10K the other day, and then I got a video of me running, and I looked like I was jogging. So I thought, that can't be right. I need to speed
nah.
it up. But yeah, but yeah. So shoes always play a big part, and again, I think it's the same with fueling, isn't it?
It's like it's very much trial and error. Like you want to be, and even Dara has like or my coach Burnsy, he'd have like a master's in like in exercise physiology, so he knows all of the science behind everything. But mess around and find out is like our saying to each other.
Yeah,
So like it's all well and good, like being like, oh, this is how many carbs. Ideally, by the textbook, you want to be consuming, say, even like carb per kilogram of body weight measurement before a race in terms of a carb load. But you might take it on and feel horrendous and sluggish on race day, like, whereas I might take it on and feel like I'm electric and able to smash it. Like, do you know what I mean? So there's
yeah,
a big trial and error element in anything you do. And even with training, like weekly mileages and paces and pace zones and even heart rate zones, like, do you know what I mean? There's
yeah,
a good element of kind of, let's call it trial and error, but we call it a bit differently. Mess around and find out, let's say.
yeah.
Uh, but
But
but yeah, definitely. And same with shoes. Like you won't know a pair of shoes suits you until you try them out. Like, and it might take you 50 kilometers in them to realize you don't like them.
yeah, and you can walk around the sports shop thinking these are great, but it's only when you hit like 10 kilometers, as you say, that you go, maybe they're not so great, or cheapest they're fabulous. Like,
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah,
with the Hyperboost Edge, I had seen lots of posts and people were going, they're not good for heel strikers, and I'm a heel striker, and I think they're fabulous. Like, and
yeah,
they
yeah,
look
yeah.
good as
Or
well.
you see it loads with people with the Evos. People, some of my good buddies now who'd be really strong runners. I'd be like, oh, you have to try the Evos. You love them, and they'll try them out and go, didn't like them at all.
Yeah,
So
I think some people think they're narrow. They have a narrow foot in the top, so we'll
yeah,
see. It's been a pleasure having you on. I've been a kind
thank
of a
you for
fan.
having me on.
I love your posts. I love your social media. And I did see at Mallow this year, and I was kind of almost starstruck, so I didn't want to go up and say hello.
Stop.
I, I
We'll
did
have to meet
see,
up someday for a coffee, or not
absolutely,
a
yeah.
coffee for you, a tea.
I did see, somebody did a post the other day and was really bigging up I think it was your TikTok account, and was going, you're kind of still underrated, but I find the stuff that you do really inspiring, and yeah, a good role model for people. And I think I was delighted when you said you'd come on. So
Thank you
thanks for
very much for having me. It is an
yeah.
honor. So
You have to
it's a
finish
huge
off
gift.
with your kind of good luck.
Don't forget to follow me. Go on, good luck. There we go. Yeah, exactly. It's like a trademark these days.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks very much.
Thank you very much. Jesus, thanks for having me on. It's a real pleasure. So hopefully there's a bit of something in there anyway.
Yeah, and best of luck with the walk and everything.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
And that was the Chaz fella, Charlie Lillis, our guest on episode 55 of the Middle of the Pack podcast. I hope you enjoyed that. I certainly did. And we're going to finish up. We've had a lot to talk about, a lot to discuss, and I really enjoyed that chat, and really hope that everything goes well for the Hart fella's walk and his Dublin diaries and his journey in the Dublin Marathon. But for this week, thanks for listening, and keep on running.